let's see.
Good evening, Ayya.
Okay, I was waiting for a sound because I was not.
I think that was a problem on my end.
Okay, all right, I can hear you, and I think you can now hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, from this angle, I was realizing the flowers were blocking the Buddha, so I rearranged a little there.
Right, right. Yes, looks good. How are you this evening?
Well enough,
Very good.
well enough to practice.
Still a couple minutes before 7, so let's give people a little more time to gather and then we'll get started. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday evening program from Dhammadharini Monastery. And I'm Tavira Bhikkhuni, and we are very happy this evening to be joined by Ayya Niyyanika from Passaddhi Vihara. And I'm sure some of you know them. Ayya Niyyanika ordained here with us at Dhammadharini in past, and now is co-founded Passaddhi Vihara with Ayya Subhijana. So I'm very glad for them to join us this evening. Just to give you a very brief introduction. So before monastic life, Ayya Niyyanika found the Dhamma through the Dukkha door. They continue to practice as a monastic, most recently at Passaddhi Vihara. The embodiment of the Brahmaviharas as a power behind the practice is their current focus. And so I think that's related to what you'll be speaking about this evening. So just happy to turn it over to you.
Thank you. So I understand that typically there's some meditation followed by some Dhamma and some Q&A. And we'll loosely follow that format tonight. But before we go to the meditation as a formal, sitting, stationary kind of practice, I'd like you to just notice how you're arriving. What is the sense of your heart as you show up? Notice if you're feeling any constriction from the day thus far, whether that's your morning or your evening or something in between. Notice how easy it is to breathe or difficult, or any constrictions if you just take a breath or two. Notice if you wiggle the body around a little bit, if there's any spot that just doesn't want to move, it's a little bit tight right now. Or if it's all just easy and fluid and flowing. So kind of just a body check, a heart check. And the mind, is the mind feeling tired? Is the mind feeling bright? Is the mind feeling easy and receptive, or is it constricted? Just noticing how this showing up right now is happening in the body, in the heart, in the mind. And with that noticing, notice the quality of your noticing. Was there any judgment, any constriction, any sense of dis-ease in the way you looked at this assignment of what does the body feel like, the heart, the mind feel like? Or were you spacious and open and welcoming and accepting? Okay, it's like this now. The body's like this. The heart's like this. The mind is like this. With kind of a sense of, yes, of course it is. Of course it's like this, as I'm showing up now for this program where we get to sit together, where we get to hear some Dhamma and share. Showing up with this body, this heart, this mind at this moment is like this. I can accept it, I can allow it. So I find it helpful as we move into the sitting practice, or whatever posture feels right for you for this meditation, is to notice, okay, showing up, body, heart, mind, the environment around me, the way that I feel in this environment right now. It's like this. And I'm setting an intention to approach this meditation, this time of Dhamma, with an open, bright, well-wishing for whatever occurs. So take your meditation posture and take it in a really caring kind of way. Okay, I'm running my hands down the sides of my legs a little bit to just, notice, feel, settle them. Before this program, I'm dealing with a strange website issue. Some people can't see it, and others are seeing some strange something in a language we can't even read, and so I'm coming with a little bit of my eyes, my mind full, and not necessarily directed towards this settling practice, noticing that. I'm coming with having been, kind of hunched over the keyboard, and so there may be parts of the body that I can move, open, settle. But through it all, my heart's been, fairly much like, okay, I'll either settle this website issue or I won't. Can it be okay? This, okay? Now I'm going to take some time and settle into the Dhamma to prepare for the talk. Can it be like this? So reflect on your own coming, the hour before this program. Now, what was the posture? What was the shape? Nod, smile. Of course it was like that. And now I'm showing up for my meditation. I've given a little review to what came before, and now I'm going to set it down. Because there's this gift of the time to settle. And the first part of settling is softening, noticing. Feeling the surface below and the sense of support. Let the attention run down into the surface below you, attending to the space below, the settled stability of the space below. Let the breaths have a sense of reaching down into the space below this body in this meditation posture. And then letting the attention go upward to the space above this body. In the meditation posture, there's space above. Let your attention, this sense of curiosity and knowing, even with your eyes closed, this sense of awareness up. Maybe let the breath carry the awareness up. And allowing the attention to take in both down and up, below and above. If it's possible, aware of both. And if not, on each breath, maybe alternating until you have a sense of both down awareness and up awareness. Noticing if this has shifted or adjusted your posture in any way. The quality of knowing of the heart. Whether anything's come in, such as dignity, uprightness, stability. Knowing the surface below and the space above. And the meditation posture in between. Noticing in this, if you're in a sitting or a standing posture, that the spine is roughly running up and down. And just let it be. Let it settle, stack up, balance. But notice the musculature of the lower belly, maybe the pelvic floor. Is there any unnecessary holding? Can you soften? Let the belly just plop, settle. The diaphragm, the middle, the rib cage where the left and the right meet. Inviting a softening, letting it move freely with the breath. Under the arms, letting them pull down, drape down, gravity hold and pull so that the shoulders are soft. And the mouth, letting the mouth be loose and the tongue just soft in the mouth. No need for the tongue to be doing anything right now. Soft, resting. And anywhere in your body, if you have a telltale spot that holds tension, forehead or hands or anywhere, just checking in and letting it soften in this space between the surface below and the air above. From this soft and steady space, let the awareness move out in all directions, forward, to the sides, and to the back. No pressure, no pushing, just awareness, knowing there is space above, below, around. There's space internal and external. Letting the body be soft and steady, stable in all directions. This is the space of unbounded surrounding us. Let's now warm the heart So what carries on our awareness is this loving kindness. Warm the heart in whatever way works for you. Bringing something to mind that makes the heart smile. And noticing if there's a warmth, a smile in the heart. If it begins to feel like it naturally moves on that awareness in all directions. The unbounded heart. Making any adjustments in the body or the heart awareness that help you to soften and settle, to feel stable, steady. And then as I move into silence with you, remember you can come back at any time and bring awareness to the surface below, the space above, softening this breathing body. Aware in all directions around, with a warm, smiling heart. So if you wish, continue to practice in this way, or take up a meditation you find most supportive right now. Renewing the warmth, the smile in the heart, and awareness spread in all directions in an open, free way, carrying this warmth of the heart. Noticing if this warm, smiling heart pervades the whole body, or if there's any area that feels left out. And gently bringing that area into awareness, accepting it as it is right now. Even areas that are tight or sore, achy, agitated, even these can be held with this warm, bright, kind, smiling heart. And however full or permeated this warm-heartedness is in the body, notice whether that carries out in all directions, in a natural, unbounded way. The warmth of the heart, this kindness, this smiling heart, filling the body and naturally radiating. And as we near the end of the meditation time, just looking back over the meditation, were there any shifts, any changes in the softness or tensions of the body, the heart and mind? Was it one shift or many? And observe the state of this body, heart, and mind now. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. If you wish, you can open your eyes if they've been closed. Take a breath and feel how it is to be in this space together. So before we go into the Dhamma reflection, this particular wording for the practice may be new, although the elements of it you've probably encountered before. Any comments or questions on this way of practice, or noticings of how it interacts for you? I think people can unmute themselves. Is that true? Okay, good. Daniel.
Thank you for leading that. This is actually good timing for me in that I just recently have started reading Compassion and Emptiness in Early Buddhism, which I think was something Dhammadharini led a class on some time ago, and was reading the section on infinite space and emptiness, and was thinking, oh, that's really interesting. I hadn't read about that before, and so I enjoyed the reading, and then I felt like there was some of that tonight, so it was actually really good timing.
Oh, that's
Thank you.
wonderful. And yes, that book is a dear practice reference for me. So I'm glad that you're getting to practice with that, because it ties together this sense of the emptiness, the unboundedness, but it really brings in that sense of steadying compassion. You're not unmoored in this emptiness. It's a bright, beautiful, warm thing to be abiding in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did anything else arise for others, or any questions on this way of practicing? Tavira.
There we go. Just really appreciating the practice, and it's something I've been practicing a lot with myself recently. This sense of like kind of steadying and groundedness, and like being able to direct my attention both downward and upward, and that's really been really, yeah, it's been really beneficial. And I'm noting I'm feeling much more sort of grounded and settled than I was when I arrived. Appreciating that. Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree. Thoughts of websites have fallen out of my head for the most part. I can just be here and find a little more spaciousness and that sense of contractedness that comes around from meticulously looking at something. It's like, oh, okay. It's a different kind of one-pointedness we come to when we are doing it from a warm and spacious approach. And this sense of the earth, the stability below, and bringing the attention, awareness, both down and up. I know there are qigong, the earth and sky, or heaven and earth, or there are multiple ways of describing that. When people try this, often the sense that the words that come to mind are steady or dignified, stable. And I think it also, for me, there's a lot more capacity for this flow of energy. It's like it's not contracted or constricted, so it's got this ability to go up and down, and then from there out in all directions. So, all right, so then maybe we'll begin the Dhamma talk, and feel free to pause me, put something in the chat, or ask. I'm going to change my screen setting so that I can see people and also my notes. Let's see here. Give me a moment. Let's see. There we go. All right. Okay, look at the chat. All right, there we go. All right. So again, as we begin, feeling the space around us, so that when we're listening, notice if there's any constriction that begins in the body. Can you stay curious and open and bright and spacious as you listen, and as the words come in? What is there an unsteadying that happens, or does it bring in a stability? No rights, no wrongs, no anything. It's just a sense of noticing how it is right now with these conditions. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sangham namasami. This is a way of also connecting to our lineage, our heritage that stretches back to the Buddha and to the Dhamma that's existed just as the nature of reality. And that the Buddha came up with ways to see this clearly and articulate it and bring it to us down through the many years and through all of those who have awakened by experience and touching and embodying this teaching. So it's with that in mind that we can explore a little bit today. I notice that I'm coming into this, as having, done some technical work beforehand. The mind's a little bit tired, maybe. I've had some health things. Didn't sleep so great last night, so the body's a bit tired. Talking with people about what's going on in the world, the heart can be a little bit tired. And with this space, I mean, just even the saying, especially about the heart, there can be tears that come into the eyes. You know, there can be this real heart, mind, body sense of the conditions. Yes, they can be fatiguing. They can be heavy. And yet, when I do such a practice of this grounding, this awareness, this warmth of the heart, it's like a brightness comes into the heart, comes into the mind. A light, a lift, a spaciousness, a settling. Anyone else, does meditation actually have an impact on the weariness? Or do you just completely succumb to torpor? Sometimes, maybe. But yeah, I see head nods. I see, yeah, this has an impact. That's why we do it. It's why we come back to it. That's why it can be a refuge. So what I wanted to talk about today was this cultivation of the Brahmaviharas and how it can help lead to a steadiness even as things are falling apart. Even as the body is weary or shaky or pained, even as the heart is torn apart in some ways by life, by circumstances, by what we're observing, by those people we know. Here up in Washington State, there's flooding. I'm not in the flood zone, but the news is filled with whole neighborhoods where all you see are the rooftops. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You don't have to look that far to see what is shaky in the world. So what the Buddha teaches us is how to be aware without being depleted, without becoming unsteady, without being destabilized. And one of the things I think that really, really promotes that sense of well-being amidst it all are the Brahmaviharas. This unbounded quality. Have people practiced with the unbounded, not just with, for myself and for my neighbor and for, up to my enemy and bringing individual beings, but this sense of all directions. Aware of the chant, I will abide, pervading one quarter with a heart imbued with loving kindness. Yeah, some of you, yeah. That's the kind of practice I think is the most steadying, rather than the individuals and moving through that those can be antidotes for where the heart is constricted with a particular person or group of people. But when we want the real practice of steadying and stabilizing, it doesn't have these names and forms within it. It touches everything. It reaches through everything. There's eventually no part of the body that's not permeated with the sense of loving kindness. If you haven't experienced it, can you imagine it? Can you imagine what this sense of well-being is? Even if the knee is really cranky right now, or the bowels, the belly, the neck. Maybe you've been in an accident and there are parts that are pinched. Yet, loving kindness seeps, saturates, permeates the entirety of the body. Nothing is left out. Even within imagining, do you find that there's some areas that soften more into it? And maybe you also find some areas that say, nope, this cranky old elbow is not going to get on board with this. This is why the body is such a profound and amazing place of practice. It mirrors the way that we move in the world. So when we can accept, yes, even this failing organ in my body, or this ache, this sensation of effervescence. I've just had a wonderful, I don't know, I've heard that people get running highs. I'm not a runner, so I have never experienced a running high, but I hear it's true. But I after swimming, I'll have this sense of like more ease and freedom and spaciousness. So can that be included too? Without this gripping onto it, oh, the body should feel like this. And when I get out of the pool and all of the sense of my weighted, heavy body gets back into the contact with the surface and I have to carry it, the water is not doing it for me anymore, do I suddenly throw it out of my heart? Is there suddenly no more kindness for this body? Noticing, what are the actions, the activities that cause me to constrict, pull away? For me, it's often heart-based, mind-based, and then the body follows. I don't want to hear that, and so I'm going to pull away. I don't want to see that, so I'm going to squint. I don't want to sense that, so I'm going to push. I'm going to tighten and push. Do we notice that we do this? Is there mindfulness? When I behave in a way that's not unbounded, do I lose this permeation of loving kindness that can permeate the body? There are a number of teachings we could look at in the suttas that really bring this into a sense of practice. One that I go back to again and again is in the numbered discourses, the Anguttara Nikaya, number 863. It's called A Teaching in Brief. And in this sutta, we hear the Buddha talking to the monastics. I believe it's the Buddha, actually. Is this the Buddha or is this... Yes, it is the Buddha. There's another one that's, but this one's the Buddha. So the Buddha's talking to the monastics and he says, in our practice, let's see, I got to get past the, my mind or my heart, my citta, I like to put heart, my heart will inwardly steady and well settle. So that was kind of the basis for the practice of the meditation. My heart will inwardly steady and well settle. No erring, unskillful conditioning arisen in the mind takes hold and remains. So this is not saying that there are no complications that will arise. Of course they will. We're conditioned beings. Now, whether we've been wrestling with websites or people or systems or traffic or anything else, there are unskillful conditioning that arise. Because if you're like me, You didn't come into this world with all of the Brahmaviharas fully developed, a stability of mind in sensing emptiness. That's just not what happened. That's not how I showed up. And in the process of getting to this place of even knowing what was possible, hearing about it from the Buddha's teachings, practicing it on the cushion, off the cushion, on again, off again, and then the flow where they blend and merge. I've done some unskillful things. I've had some unskillful thoughts. I've said some unskillful words. So the point isn't that nothing unskillful arises until we get to the practice stage where it doesn't. And I'm not there yet. It does arise, but we notice it. There's mindfulness. Oh, constriction is occurring. And I will not allow it to take hold and remain. And what method do we use so it doesn't take hold and remain? Do we rip it out and throw it down and stomp on it? Anyone? Have you tried it? I have. It's not effective. It momentarily might free me from whatever that oppressive conditioning was, but I've just created the karma of being the oppressor against this thing that's emerging in my heart or my mind. And I feel it in the body, and I feel it in the way that I want to turn away from acknowledging it. And so there are times to be firm, but the firmness is with love. Oh, so the way that I take hold and I don't allow it to remain is by having that steadiness, and then as it comes by and I feel I'm going off, oh, I see you. Oh, in the suttas you see this, I see you, Mara. And then what happens to Mara? Mara says, oh, the Bhikkhuni has seen me, and leaves right there. You know, it can be the same way, even if it's moment by moment, again and again, as that defilement of the mind, that offness of the speech, that contraction, constriction in the body. Oh, I see you. There, of course. I'm a conditioned being. This has come because of my conditioning. Let me look on it by love, with love, and set it down. That's a different way than ripping and stomping. My heart will inwardly steady and well settle. No erring, unskillful conditioning arisen in the mind takes hold and remains. I've been practicing Aikido for a number of years now, and never in the form of the martial art. It's all been in the philosophy, the embodiment, the way of holding. And the basic idea of Aikido is to blend with and redirect. And I feel like that is really the Buddhist practice here, is to come into contact with this thought, this formation that's occurring in my body, heart, mind state. Know it, and then move it. The sutta continues, in this way, monastic, or all of us, in this way you should practice. When your heart is inwardly steady and well settled, and no erring, unskillful conditioning arisen in the mind takes hold and remains. From there, you should practice in this way. I develop love as deliverance of heart. I develop love as deliverance of heart. That this metta, this kindness, this warm heart can be the seat of the deliverance of our citta, of our heart, our mind. I earnestly practice, master, make a foundation, experience, accumulate, and well undertake it. I develop love as deliverance of heart. I earnestly practice, master, make a foundation, experience, accumulate, and well undertake it. So this isn't saying once and done. This is saying repetitively, continuously, integrated with my mindfulness. I develop love as a practice. Love becomes my power. And I am using the word love here in the sense of the way that the Buddha uses the word metta. So this is not an attached kind of love. This is not this is not lusting. This is not attachment to my family. This is not I'm delighted by my position. I'm think that the nature is just so magnificent. Those things may all be a part of my experience. But when I'm using the word love, I'm really meaning this pure, metaful accepting. It's like this now, and my heart is warm and open, even in the midst of this, whatever the this is. If you're familiar with the simile of the Saw Sutta, how high the bar is for how your heart can stay open. In that sutta, it goes all the way up to your heart stays open, even if bandits were sawing you limb from limb. And hopefully we never get tested on that. But there's enough to test us every day. So that's why it says to earnestly practice, master, make a foundation, experience, accumulate, and well undertake it. Again and again and again. So I do this throughout my day, feeling that ground below, the space above, the space around, softening, particularly focused on my pelvic floor, belly, diaphragm, throat, tongue in my mouth. Others talk about their jaw or their forehead or their shoulders. Notice where, but kind of a sense, your hands, that there can be a softening. And I'll notice, tongue is very telltale for me. If I'm pulling my tongue back or pushing it against the roof of my mouth or my teeth, or I'm a little bit out of that soft openness with whatever I'm encountering. And that's when I do it again. Feel it, soften. Space around, the sense of stability and steadiness. Warmth in the heart, and meeting that. And what I find emerges out of that is a stability. And what emerges from the stability is an equanimity. I can include this too. This too does not shake me. My heart can remain open even while I hear this, even while I see this, even while I experience this, even while I watch others experiencing this. And it's not the stability of a stuck in the mud, can't move. It's the stability of a well-trained dancer or artist, martial artist, or someone that can move, acrobat. It's the stability that has the capacity to move and meet and flow and respond. And where the sutta leads to from here, I gotta scroll down quite a ways in my copy. Let's see. I'm gonna have to switch over to Nisra Bhikkhu or something because I've got it so much out of order. In the sutta, it goes through all of the Brahmaviharas, but I'm gonna skip down to equanimity here. Okay, so each of them, the metta as awareness release is the way it's here. Compassion as awareness release. Appreciation as awareness release. Equanimity as my awareness release. This is Ceta Vimutti. Now the heart, mind, freedom will be developed, pursued, handed the reins and taken as a basis, given a grounding, steadied, consolidated and well undertaken. That's how you should train yourself. And when you've developed this concentration in this way, you should develop this concentration with directed thought and evaluation. You should develop it with no directed thought and a modicum of evaluation. You should develop it with no directed thought, no evaluation. You should develop it accompanied by rapture. So what we're doing is we're going, into the jhana, the first jhana, and into the second jhana, not accompanied by rapture, endowed with a sense of enjoyment, the third jhana. You should develop it endowed with equanimity, the fourth jhana. And then the sutta continues until the point that birth is ended, the holy life fulfilled, the task is done. There's no further for the sake of this world, and one becomes one of the arahants. So this is not a small practice, this Brahmavihara practice. This is a practice that really steadies us amidst everything. And it allows the mind to still. It allows the mind to have the freedom and spaciousness to begin to see things in a liberating way. And I'm not through with this journey. But each step of the way, when I remember to soften, steady, feel the space around, soften, and warm the heart, there's so much more that I have the ability to respond to. There's so much more that I have the ability to let go of. There's so much more that I can drop and deepen and still. So I'd like to just take a moment together and make sure we're noticing that surface below, the space above, the softening the space around, and the warmth of the heart, the smiling heart. And from that space to open it up for conversation.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Ayya.
Let's see, I'm seeing something in the chat. I understand that the best explanation for metta is universal benevolence, not loving kindness. Love of the ordinary human being is conditional, whereas metta is unconditional goodwill for all beings. Yeah, I would agree that it's an unconditioned, it's meeting things without conditions on them. Metta itself is conditioned, and we just went through a practice of conditioning it. And then as we go into relationship with other people and with situations, we realize that situation, those people are conditioned too. And the quality of my heart, this warmth, this smiling, doesn't need to shift or change in any way. It can be open and bright and accepting, regardless of what's going on in their behaviors or their being. So I hope, if I didn't paraphrase that in the same way as you meant, please put further in the chat or raise your hand here. Yes, Kay.
Ayya, thank you so much. This has been just absolutely wonderful. I've been learning from several teachers, and it's very common in the West for people to teach in this way of practice metta, practice the Brahmaviharas. And some highly venerated teachers in the East, specifically Fourth Thai tradition, speak of kind of a sense of you're not ready to practice metta until you've really, come transcended form, essentially. So there's really no emphasis on practicing metta, cultivating, developing metta. It's basically like the Satipatthanas until you're an arahant, and then metta will flow from you. The Brahmaviharas will be who you are, and you'll be able to practice them. That's because that's how you'll be. So there's no real emphasis on developing them. Mm-hmm. And I've asked, well, how much metta should we practice? What's a good percentage? And I wonder, maybe in your experience throughout time, how much emphasis you've put on these in your practice. Let's say if you practice 6 hours a day, how many hours should be focused directly on the metta practice or the cultivation of the Brahmaviharas in relation to all the other, the Satipatthanas or just mindfulness, any other kind of practice? Like, should all of my time be spent on the Brahmaviharas? Are they that important? Like, how do I balance that?
Yes. And I find that the Brahmaviharas are intrinsically connected with every meditation practice I do. So whether I am looking at Vedana, so in the Satipatthana, I'm in the, we did a body practice, and I can talk more about even when you're looking at the decaying corpse practice. I think you need the stability of equanimity. I think you need the warmth of heart. Yes, there is this factor of seeing the impermanent nature of all that's arising and passing away. Yes, there is a stepping back from this form as a me and a mine. I don't think it's possible for most psyche, for most conditioned mental states, to do that in a healthy way without this warmth of heart and stability. And so if I'm exploring Vedana, noticing, oh, I like this, it's pleasant. It's pleasant. Okay, so it's pleasant, period. I like it. Now, did something shift in my openness, in the spaciousness of my heart, when the liking came in? And it may or may not, you know. There are varying degrees and varying textures and qualities of this, but that's how I would play with Vedana. This is unpleasant. Did anything happen in my heart state when I noticed it was unpleasant? Am I completely free and open with it or not? And the neutrality, am I still showing up to it? And they can do that. The mind states, it's pretty clear. It's like, oh, this is a mind affected with anger. I would say don't just hang out in a mind infected with anger and say, I see you, I see you, I see you, mind infected with anger. I'm practicing the Satipatthana. I'm aware. Because in the sutta we were just looking at, it said, when that unskillful quality arises in the mind, I don't let it take hold and remain. And to me, that is a Brahmavihara practice. And then within the looking at the Four Noble Truths, looking at the hindrances, looking at the enlightenment factors, they are so much easier to show up to if I'm grounded in and holding this metta. So that's why and I'm talking about this kind of unbounded metta practice, not the metta practice of going through individual beings and whatnot. That practice of going through, I would say, include it. I inadvertently co-led a metta retreat a couple months back because Mark Nunberg was the guiding teacher where I studied as a layperson, and he was going to be teaching with Kamala Masters, and Kamala wasn't able to come because her husband had some health issues. And so Mark asked me to step in like 2 weeks before the thing, and if he'd said it was like on dependent origination or something, I would have been like, I don't have time to prepare for that. But he said it was metta. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And then he said, oh, and it's the Visuddhimagga techniques. And I went, oh. And I immediately noticed, okay, I have come off of my center. The metta is not feeling strong and full because he's just mentioned we're going to do the Visuddhimagga method of going through the different peoples. And I went, what's that about? Okay, Ayya, what's going on here? Come on, sweetheart. And so I brought metta to, teaching metta in that method, I do this unbounded practice. Okay, I'm getting constricted around my unbounded practice. And so it was actually really lovely to then say, all right, let's go back. Let's do this practice. And I'll tell you, it was really powerful to go back and find those spots where it's harder, it's easier, it flows, it's natural. I'm fed up. By bringing in like scenarios, I was able to unpack where it was tight, and that's when you bring the antidotes in to say, oh, okay, compassion isn't there, or mudita, this appreciative resonant joy, not there for that group of people, or and so I definitely do think you should include within your practice space that noticing. And it really is a mindfulness practice directed within the Satipatthana. It's just been called out further in the Abhidhamma and the Visuddhimagga. So this is how I bring it into all of the practices. And I was really glad to have that practice come back to me, that sense of going through. So I just wouldn't do my entire practice time with that method. I would have the unbounded.
Thank you, Aya. That's just been really enlightening. I would say that I practice, the unbounded and the peopling as a separate, it's like, here's an hour of metta, but to overlay the metta onto everything else, it's like they're inseparable. That's game changing. I can sit through hours of 32 parts contemplation, 32 parts, and slam myself for hours and not feel any joy. And I'm wondering, where's the joy from my practice? Where are the fruits coming? There's no fruits from my 32-part contemplation. But
32 parts can become a really uplifting, joyous practice.
yes, with the overlay of the metta. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And because it's not done in a slamming kind of way, the mind can settle, and you
Mm.
can use any of the 32 parts you can use to enter the jhanas.
Yes, sadhu.
So,
Thank you. Thank you for this very much.
something in the chat okay, yeah, yeah. Ananea, you said that's my understanding as well. Any particular part of that you were commenting on?
Um, well, where I am with that the practice of metta in particular, um, I started out learning the Visuddhimagga. I think a lot of people, it's the Burmese, Lhasa style, which at IMS is very common, and it's usually how you start out. And it was very helpful for that. I spent several years doing that. And then, but it's the boundless state and moving into the boundless states that really, and Bhikkhu Anaya, just for FYI, for those who may not know, has wonderful meditations online that you can just type in, Bhikkhu Anaya metta, and get guided meditations from him. So how this works for me too, I was reading actually it was one of the Bhikkhuni, original Bhikkhuni poems and whatever. I was reading a version of that, and I can't, unfortunately, I don't remember which Bhikkhuni, but she mastered metta, universal. She never, in the line goes something like, she never saw other than a friend. In other words, universal friendliness and kindness. Ajahn Brahm uses this term, kindfulness, mindfulness and kindness together. So in a meditation what I use frequently is visualizing metta coming into into every cell in the body, saturating every cell in the body with universal kindness and friendliness, and then going into the various above and below, around and everywhere, first, quarter, second, and then leading into the unbounded, and that works. It's just a wonderful practice, and so I do encourage everybody to do metta. Well, all of the Brahmaviharas, and metta is as a pervading background for all of that. So for bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you. Tavira.
Thank you. And I appreciate you bringing up Aikido, which I studied the martial art for several years before monastic life. And I was reflecting on, one of the principles in Aikido is you're redirecting, and you're never like meeting force with force directly. You're never you're never having to put a lot of force and a lot of energy into going directly against the other person. Instead, what you're doing is you're trying to develop this real sensitivity to their motion, to their direction, to their center of gravity, to their balance. And then once you have that real sensitivity of how they're in motion, you can meet that and redirect it using very little energy. And just reflecting on, there's so often something can come up in our practice or in our life, or an emotional reaction or something in the body, and it can feel like, oh, this is this really big thing that like I'm not strong enough to deal with. And instead, if we can, rather than saying like, this is a big thing that I have to combat directly with force, that I don't have the energy to do, instead, if you can soften and have that sensitivity to say like, okay, instead of going up against it, can I meet it and understand it, and really, like you say, like sort of have the expansiveness to kind of encompass it and really see it clearly. And then with that knowledge and with that understanding, maybe actually it's not such a big thing that I have to stop. It's a thing that I can apply a little bit of energy in just the right place, in just the right way, and I can redirect it into something that then is flowing in the same direction I want my life to be flowing, rather than it feeling like a thing that is opposing me. So yeah, it's a good reflection and a good reminder that, so often when we feel like, oh, I don't have the strength to do this, it's because we're trying to do it in the hardest possible way that doesn't work. And there's actually much easier ways.
Yeah. And we do this in our meditation practice. Now, the slamming through.
Right.
I will, the quality of steady. I have much longer sits when I soften. It's just, I can stay with things a lot longer if what's arising is the joy of being accepting in the presence of and with. And very much so also in conversations. Somebody was talking to us and I could sense this, no, would be the most common response. No, that's not right. Instead, it was, huh, you might be right, and I'm curious. If we look at this, do you think that would emerge? And then you're with and bringing in a mutual curiosity to create a direction for the conversation. Way less effort than, no, you're wrong, and let me tell you why. Oh, it's telling me I'm raising my hand. Yes.
The AI is helping you.
Yeah. Well, we'll just flow with that little AI for a while and then we'll help put it down. Um, so yes, I have found this is a practice I carry onto the bus when I take the bus to an appointment, or when we go on alms round, when we're doing things around the Vihara, when I don't particularly want to get up and meditate, or when I do want to get up and meditate, or when we were going to break the silence, or silence is broken and I wasn't expecting it. All of those times, whether we get food on alms round or not, can the heart stay open? Whether we, the package arrives or it doesn't, whether the website is up or it's not. Ayya Suvijana and I were talking a little bit before this about the vision for the Vihara, and also this sense of, well, let's see if this could emerge. And if it doesn't go that way, let's see what's around and what could be possible that would be aligned with the vision and values we have as monastics. And that sense of flexibility and fluid response means that the work we're doing isn't tight, it isn't constricted. It gives us the space for what could emerge, and we're not blocking anything off. The Devas have just smiled so wonderfully on what we're doing. Why would we want to just dictate what we think has to be? Let's instead put something in motion and see if it carries. And that's kind of our motto is to, this is the way I speak the motto. Ayya Niyyanika might speak it differently. That we're moving at the pace of practice. And by doing that, it's like this conditioning emerges. Oh, of course it's like that. How can we keep our heart open and spacious and see how that creates the next practice and the next practice and the next showing up? And it's not wearying when we act and work in that way. Well, I think we are at the end of our time, so is there typically a closing chant? Is it just the Araham? Is it unbounded qualities? What is the...
Usually just Araham.
All right, we can do that.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Ayya. It's been really good to have you this evening.
So if anyone wishes, you may join. And when your mind goes completely blank, I bow to the Buddha. I bow to the Dhamma. And I bow to the Sangha. And that's how you flow with losing the chant that you do every single day.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sometimes that's how it is.
Sometimes that's how it is. Well, thank you. And have beautiful practice going into the day and just coming back and reground, re-feel the spaciousness, the softness, and the warmth that is possible with whatever we're encountering.
Thank you, Ayya.
Sadhu.
See you.
Thank you,
Sadhu,
Ayya.
sadhu.
Bye.
Thank you, Ayya.